Have you ever felt like you're the only one carrying the emotional blame in a relationship, in your family, or at work while everyone else stays comfortable? That's not your fault. That's a sign that your voice is the missing piece that would absolutely shatter an unhealthy dynamic. And that's exactly why they want you to stay quiet. A lot of people think that finding your voice is just about speaking up or having more confidence. Technically, it's both of those things, but it's much deeper than that. Your voice is your alignment. And whether you realize it or not, your voice will show you what you've been willing to hold and what you're done carrying for others. Your voice is also the difference between staying stuck in a survival identity that was built from belonging and acceptance and fear, and choosing the life that you actually want, what your soul actually came here for, otherwise known as your truth or your calling. And you want to know what the real kicker is here? Speaking your truth and following your calling relentlessly is rarely going to be convenient for the people who need you to stay small and who need you in that survival identity. When you stay silent, you keep all of the old roles intact. The scapegoat, the caretaker, the good girl, whatever it is. And when you speak your truth, you risk losing approval, yes, but you gain the one and only thing that matters in the end, your truth. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly why your voice feels blocked when you're out of alignment and what it really takes to reclaim it. Definitely didn't just change my shirt. Anyway, I've been sharing my truth a lot more in my life, and it is shaking everything up, and for the better. In stepping into this evolved version of myself that's not driven by fear, but driven by inner truth and clarity, I am speaking my truth unapologetically and allowing that to get rid of whatever's not in alignment anymore. I've seen it in certain relationships, friendships that relied on all of those things. Me denying my truth, me not being fully in my power, leaking energy, like think energy vampires, making other people feel comfortable being small while I shrink myself to match them instead of the other way around. I mean, that's pretty much the underlying theme of all of them is when you compromise your truth, it's at your detriment. It's really at everyone's detriment, but it's most certainly both immediately and in the long term, you're the one suffering the most. Other people are going to benefit from it short time. They're not going to grow long term, so from that perspective, it's not benefiting them either, but it's keeping everyone small. And you have the choice of saying no more. This is who I am. Speaking your truth can look like telling someone how you actually feel. Maybe you have feelings for someone romantically. Maybe you are naming a dynamic that's been ambiguous because they benefit from the ambiguity. Maybe you're calling it out so that you can see if they'll meet you in truth or if they'll go and hide and avoid the discomfort and play small. Maybe you'll say how you feel, that you feel disrespected or that you feel like your needs are not met in a relationship. Maybe you simply say no more to a certain pattern in a relationship, and the other person is forced to face what you're mirroring back to them so cleanly about themselves. And if they're willing to work and integrate it, then you can repair the relationship. And if they're not, then you can say thank you for showing me who you are, confirming what I thought, and I will move on my merry way. I have been friends with someone for a little bit of time now, and we had a really beautiful relationship. I always felt like we saw each other and like there was depth there and alignment, and eventually it got to a point where our relationship shifted into a new territory, one that wasn't quite romantic but wasn't quite platonic, and there were different feelings coming up, and there was also this like unspoken element to it. It lived in this ambiguity, and the ambiguity was fun until it wasn't. Eventually it gets to a point where it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Because usually when there's ambiguity in a relationship, one person benefits more than the other. And it becomes like a power game of like, I get to control the pace, I get to control how much I reveal of myself, I get to control how I feel, while you just wait or respond to that. And that's not healthy. That's not mutuality. That's not integrity. It's not truth. So I named the relationship for what it was. I named how I felt. I named what I wanted. And initially I did it because I thought that it would be reciprocated. I believed that it would. I believed that we'd be both on the same page and that we'd explore something and it'd be fun. And what I found was that my ability and willingness and courage to stand in truth was not reciprocated by this person. And I don't know why I was surprised. I guess I told myself, it's me. Like, they're not gonna do that to me though. Like, our relationship is too complex, you know? Don't be surprised by how many people will stand you up while you have the courage to speak your truth. How many people will run and hide because they do not have or have not built the capacity to do the same. So that's exactly what happened. I waited until I realized that they showed me what was apparent all along, that we were not in alignment, that they were not in integrity, and that there wasn't mutuality. And that any sense of alignment would have to happen from that person rising to me, not me shrinking down to make them more comfortable or to make it convenient for them. It did not turn out the way that my mind would have loved it to, but it taught me the power of saying how I feel, being real, and naming what's real, naming what's true in the moment. And if it scares someone, or if that person shows they can't match that level of integrity or clarity, then let them go, and you can say thank you and move on and make space for people who are on the same path of becoming, who are moving away from those survival patterns, who are in more integrity and alignment themselves. The same thing is showing up in my family as well. We have a lot of patterns around passivity and like passive aggression in particular, and compromising one's truth for the sake of peace and harmony, which, by the way, is such a lie, because there's absolutely no peace and harmony, especially when someone is compromising their own truth. You're fooling yourself if you think that compromising your truth is creating harmony. If that's the environment that everyone is surviving in, emphasis on the word surviving, then it was not a peaceful environment to begin with. I am the first person in my family to set healthy, clear, proactive boundaries when someone or something draws a line, or even just saying, this is what I want, this is what I need. This is not something my family has done generationally, intergenerationally. We just wait for things to bother us, and then we build resentment quietly, and then we explode whenever it's convenient, and then we build a narrative and we spit out whatever this narrative is that's super, super subjective and not rooted in reality, and then it becomes this big explosive thing. So I am showing up and I'm saying, I'm not mad at you, but this is what I need. This is the reality. We're both adults here, so let's work together and resolve that before it even gets to any level of escalation. And in a family that's so just attached and familiar with self-silencing and over-compromising, over-functioning, it's sort of like, who the F does she think she is? What kind of entitlement is this, or alpha, or whatever they want to, look at me as, instead of like, yeah, that's probably a healthier way to approach the world, but it requires intentionality, it requires self-awareness, it requires heightened nervous system capacity to regulate enough to like even notice, okay, these are my boundaries before they are crossed too many times. To be able to say, okay, one little thing crossed my boundary, not enough to like escalate or really provoke a severe response for me, but enough to say, okay, let's address that now while I am regulated. It's definitely shaken things up. It caused some stuff, some defensiveness, some pushback initially, also because this is, again, intergenerational trauma. So this is not like easy little band-aid fix things. These are like deep-seated, entrenched patterns that are being addressed. It's a lot to address, but speaking that truth, speaking that into reality is what helps all of us kind of wake up. It shows other people where their own limitations were, where they may not have been able to look at themselves clearly in the past, when they can realize, oh, actually, you are just setting healthy boundaries. But it also paves a way for liberation, because at the end of the day, like, expressing your truth is liberation. Like, that is, when I think of the word freedom in life, it's hand in hand with speaking your truth, setting clear boundaries, and following your soul's path, not your survival path. Because survival is all about like being in the cage of trying to be accepted and find belonging in very familiar, often toxic dynamics. And it's a cage. So most people are living in that cage still. And when you speak your truth into reality, into existence, and you walk it, you don't just speak it, but you walk it. You give other people permission, as painful as it is, and not everyone's gonna rise to the occasion, but you give them permission. At the very least, you say, this is the door I'm walking through. You're welcome to follow me. I will not carry you through it. I will not go back through the door just to stay with you, just to be in relationship with you. I'm going this way. I know there are other people over there. I know that there are other opportunities for me that way, and I'm willing to lose everything on this side of the door if I have to. Because that is where expansion is, and that is the door to freedom. So by all means, I'm sorry it threatens your cage and your comfort, but there's actually more space to breathe over here. You might not even know what breathing feels like, but I'd love to show you. So drop your defenses, because we all win if we go this way. If you let me go this way, we all win. So that's kind of what happens. Ultimately, your voice is not just your voice. It is your inner compass. It's also your barometer for how aligned you are. Because when you're in alignment, your voice gets really, really clear. Your boundaries become clear. Your field becomes clear. No one can even argue without looking delusional. But when you're out of alignment, it's also clear. Because you might choke your voice down, you might scream, you might explode, or turn everything against yourself, or take the blame beyond what's yours to carry, or even just stay silent just to keep an old, unhealthy dynamic alive. Reclaiming your voice isn't just about speaking with more confidence, or knowing what you're talking about, or convincing others what you want. It means burning down every part of your life that only exists to keep you small. It means setting radical boundaries that are uncomfortable for everyone involved, including yourself, but that protect you, that protect your freedom and expansion. It means leaving whatever is no longer aligned. Recognizing, okay, well, I set my boundaries, I spoke my truth here. Are they meeting me, or am I still holding space for this to work? Am I still hoping that they're gonna rise to the occasion to meet me? Or are they actually doing it on their own and meeting me with integrity, in truth, being courageous with me? You'll know the difference. It means breaking every single spell that keeps you silent, even if it means risking losing it all. Having yourself and your own back is the most valuable thing you can have in this life. Listen, you did not incarnate on this planet to be easy to digest. Nor did you come here to carry everyone else's comfort. You're here to speak the truth that your body knows, and to build a life that is big enough to hold it. So let your voice ripple out and crack the old spell. Let your truth be inconvenient. And trust that on the other side of this doorway is the version of you you've been waiting to meet, and the life that you've been waiting to live. Let me know where you might be silencing your own voice in the name of harmony or peace in your environment. What relationships or job or environments you may be settling for because you're afraid to let go of them what part of yourself you might still be holding on to that may not be serving you anymore, that may not be in alignment with your truth. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Please do let me know how this landed for you. Also, please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I think that's it. I hope you have a beautiful day or night, and I will talk to you soon.